What is up, everyone? So today I want to show you how I made this simple website with React, and they have little page transitions or animations, whatever you want to call it. And these are going to be a bit exaggerated, but that's just to show you how to get started, and then you can get fancy with it. So right here we got this little majestic bird over here, super colorful, and then pretty much if I were to click on the about page, got a little fade in from the y-axis coming in, and then also we can come in from the X from the side too. So here, look at this, like look at this bird, look how beautiful this is, right? These are just random design pictures, but go back again, you can see it like that. And then the basic, the one that's probably more realistic and makes more sense would be just like a typical fade and opacity change right there. These right here are more of like if you wanted to animate like text and stuff, that makes more sense. But like the whole entire page, again, you can get fancy or not, that's up to you. But again, we're gonna make this with React stock components. So let's get into my code editor. Let me show you how I did this. So in order to get started, I just went ahead and opened up my terminal. So go ahead and navigate to where you want to create your project. And I'm just gonna do npx, and we'll just create a React app from scratch. And I'll just call this one React page transitions. I'll just put v1, you name it whatever you want to. I'll press enter. Once it's done loading, we can get into the project. So I'll see you then. Alright, so it is done. So let's cd into this React page transitions -v1. Press enter. I got VS Code, so I just type in code dot auto opens. If it doesn't, using a different code editor, go ahead and just open up the project yourself, wherever that is. Let me drag this over here. And I don't want to buy that. What is that? And let's go. And I'm going to do Command J. And I'm going to do yarn start. I got yarn via npm start. But it's going to ask me to add this little file because I got this error. So let me just do this really quick. So again, if you don't have this error, just ignore this. But I just created a .env file in the root. Save it. And we run this again. And we can go, I'll just bring this over here. Shrink this. And yes, here we go. Alright, once that's loaded, because it's just acting slow today, let's just drag this over here. Alright, so first thing, let's go through the files. And for this app.js, we can pretty much clear out this whole thing. And I'll just put fragments for now. And just put yo. And I'll delete this SVG thing right here, logo. I'll save it and I'll get rid of it to here. It looks like it's like all the way over, so we can see the Y there. And let's just create, this is a super basic design, so it's not fancy or anything, but I'll just organize this for this, so we can just do a new folder. And I'll just create a components. And if you're adding this code onto like your existing project, then you can just like chill and just sit back and watch. But for now, let's create a components in here. Let's do a new file, and let's just call this, just put header.js, navbar, same thing, and then new file again. I would do hero.js, and eventually we're gonna have another image folder and pages, but we'll just create that later. So let me close my terminal with Command J. Make sure you guys go to this extension and have ES7. Type that in. Make sure you got this so that we can do little shortcuts. So let me go back. So I'm in the hero.js right now, and I'll just do the RAFCE and just press tab, and it just auto completes for me. And then here I can just type here to test it, and I can go to app.js and just straight up pass this in. So let me go like this and do parentheses so I can add multiple lines. And then just put this for now, and we'll just say hero. I'll press enter at auto imports, or you can do control space, brings it up, save it, and it should say hero. Alright, cool. So what we want to do now is let's go ahead and create the header first, since that's like the easiest thing. And here, RAFCE again. This time though, we need to let's do Command J, open up terminal. And since we're using just regular React, I can just hit the plus sign. And I'm going to do yarn add. And we're going to do style-components. We're also going to install framer-motion since we're here already. And then also I want to install react-router-dom. And then once we do that, we can just press enter. And while that loads, we can just go here and in the header, let's just import styled from styled components. And also we're going to import a link too from React Router. So we can just say import curly brace link from react-router-dom. And then here, so since we're using stock components, we can just straight up, I'll just style it in here. And also you want to check you've installed everything. Go to package.json, we got stock components, got react-router-dom, and framer-motion. So framer is just the animations, in case you've never seen that. But here, let's just call this const, let's call it navbar equal to styled and .nav with the backticks. And right now, since we have nothing, let's just say like height of 60 pixels. And let's just put background, just be like, just black for now. And here, we can replace this div with the navbar. And then I guess I can just erase this here too. And I'll just put like nav. And then what we need to do is we can actually add this into the hero section, but I'm actually going to create a page and have that in there. But just for this, since we're just starting, let me just add it to the app.js really quick, and we'll just erase this later. But just to make sure everything works, and let's, yeah, we got it here, perfect. So let's just start this up really quick. So I'm not going to go into super detail, but like here, just set some padding. So top, bottom, and then for the left and right, just have a calculation where it checks for the 100 viewport width minus 1300 pixels, and just divided by 2. And this pretty much just makes it, based off whatever pixel you put the spacing. You'll see this if you follow me like all other videos. I use that a lot. And we're just gonna flex our nav items, and then I'm gonna space between these two. So for instance, we'll have both a logo filler and then the actual nav items, and then we're just sending everything. So here, let me just go into nav really quick, and I'm just gonna have a logo, and it's gonna be a link. So I'm gonna set the path to just the home. I just put just the word animal, and then here's my div where I put in the nav, the actual menu item. So I just call this nav items. And then here's basically the link. So I just called these navbar link. And it's just, let's just close this out really quick. Let's just say home, and I'll do shift down arrow twice just to get two, and then we can just change these to about and services. Let me do Command J to close the terminal. And in the navbar link, we'll just set that to home. I'll just copy this really quick. Same here, except this is going to be the about, and then here this would just be the services. So if I save this now, it's going to have this error. So all I need to do is, let's just pass these in. So for the nav items, I didn't add any styles. I just straight up passed it in. Style.div with just backticks. Now if you wanted to just leave it as a normal div, feel free, but I just named it so you can see. And then I said const navbar link equal to styled, and since this is a React Router DOM link, you just do parentheses and pass in the value, which would be a link, and that way it can know what it is. So I could pass in like the paths, and then here I just set the color to just white for now. Let's just save it just so we can see, and also logo too. So let's just put that right below the navbar. So I say const logo equals the style. It's also, I'll just make this a link too. Let me just say this really quick, and then saying logo is not defined, and that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do some React Router stuff to fix this really quick. So here, so let's go to app.js, and fun thing is we can go here, and I'm just gonna say import curly brace. And we're gonna say browser router browser as router. That's just like a way to name it. And then we can have switch, And then we'll have routes. Let's just be from React router DOM. And we're actually gonna fix this too in the future. But for now, let me just do this so you can see like, what's happening. And there's say router here. So everything's wrapped with the router. And then I want to wrap everything with a switch statement, and then we'll have the actual routes inside. And the path, that's where you can set the actual path. So this will just be just the home. And then this will component, which is equal to home. So if you use React Router, you already know how this works. And technically these, I would put these in the home. So like if I save this now, it's gonna be like, well, what is home? So let's just do src, let's go to new folder. Let's create our pages right now. So I made a pages folder. New file, let's call this home.js. And then just rafce. Oh, looks like raf works too. Or rafe, I guess. Yeah, I think it looks the exact same. But here, let's just pass in the header. So you can see self-closing here, and then also the hero. And here I can just make these like fragments. And pretty much it's just the exact same thing, except now when I go to app.js, I can erase these because now my home has the header and the hero here, so I can just straight up import this like this and import home from, we'll see what // so we go, so we're already on that. So here you see pages, yeah, here we go. So / pages / home, and then I can just delete these, save it, and voila, here we go. So pretty much that's fixed, and we can now go back into the header.js and continue. So here we just style the logo. So like here we can just put it as make it white. So see, animal turns white. Padding left, I don't like that touching, so I'll have a little padding. Text decoration, just be none, get rid of the underline. Font size, let's put 1.5 rem. Font weight, let's make it thick. So we got some bold action. And we got font style, just make it italic. And then here, the nav bar to the link, let's get rid of the underlines too. Decoration should be none, and padding, let's put 1 rem. So here looks pretty much done with the header. That wasn't that hard, and we can just get rid of this now. So that's literally it, and we're gonna change the like background color and everything in a minute. But let's just create the new pages really quick. So new file on pages. Let's call this about.js, and let's just do services.js. So if I were to just copy in the home.js and just paste it into about, and then just change the home, so you command D to just highlight both, except this one I'll just say about so you can see it. And then same with services, just paste it in, highlight home, command D, and then just call it services, and then we'll just say services here. And then app.js, I can just click here, shift alt down arrow twice. Make sure you put exact on the home because it's going to mess you up if it doesn't, because it wants to look for the / only. And then here we can just say about, and then the services. And then here we just change this to about, because that's the about page name. And this is the services. So now we can just shift alt down arrow. Or am I saying alt? Yeah, it should be alt. And then here I just change that, command D, call that about, and change that, command D, call that services. So save it. So all our routes should work. So if I click about and service, about and home. So yeah, we're good there. So now we just gotta style the hero, add the animations, and call it a day. So let's go to hero. So we got import style components. So let's say import styled from style components. And let's go and just go here, parentheses, erase everything. And I'm gonna have a section. I'll just call it section, you name whatever you want to. Then I'm gonna have a containers wrapping everything. And then here we'll just have the H1. So this will just be like the title. Put a p tag, this will just be the description. And then we'll just put a button says learn more. So I'll save that now, and these are not defined, so I can just say const section equal to style dot section with the backticks, shift alt down arrow, and then I'll change this to container, and I'll just put this as a div. Save it now, it'll work. And pretty much here, this is gonna be images. So let's go to SRC and just make a new folder. Let's call this images. Now I just got these off of Pexels, but like just literally type in on like Unsplash or Pexels, pretty much animals or like colorful animals, and you'll get that. But let me just drag mine in really quick so that I can save some time. So I'll just drag these in. Got my beautiful animals here. So just go back to the hero, and then we'll just pass this in. So for the background, so the cool thing is you can go and do URL curly brace, and then you can basically pass in the actual value. So I just say, let's do curly brace here, and let me actually close this semicolon real quick. Let's say import, and just say image. Let's say straight up image from, let's see where we at, component. So dot slash images slash image one. So let me pass in image really quick. I think I have to add a $sign. Let me check. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, add a $sign. Yeah, $sign curly braces. Then you pass the image, and I want it to be positioned in center. So you can't really see it because I haven't added. But let's do height 100 view forward height so you can see it. Look at my beautiful little birdie. And then we can just flex everything. So display flex. And just like content. I just have everything starting. So flex start. And line items, we'll just say flex start to. Actually, yeah, it should be flex end. So it should be at the bottom. So you can't kind of see it, but on your screen you'll probably see it. Also, I'm going to say margin dash top. Let's do 60 pixels. Because what's cool. My bad, -60, and this is just like a basic design because I wanted it to essentially have like a transparent background. So if I go back to the header, we can make the background transparent. That way it doesn't affect anything. But then now we can go like this, and right now the text is way at the bottom. So for the container, we can actually add some styling to this. So first off, let's set the color to white so you can see it, and you can't really see it, but on your screen you should be able to at the bottom left. I'll set the padding to rem, might be a little better. Actually, is my screen in the way? Yeah. Okay, that's why. So let's shrink this a little more if I can. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so you can see it now. We'll say the border. Let's do I'm gonna say backdrop dash filter. Again, this is like completely unnecessary. I just wanted to add it for like design effect. Have like this little blur, and then for the background color, it's just gonna be RGBA 0.4. So you got kind of like this like blurred black box, and then we'll just put margin to rem, so you got some spacing, and then I'll just put border radius of 10 pixels. So now for the inside, can we nest this since we're doing style components? Let's put H1, and then we'll pretty much just, this is a responsive way to do fonts, so you can say font size clamp. The beginning value is the lowest you want it to be, the middle is the viewport height, and then the max font size. So right now 5 rems like this, and then margin dash bottom will just be 0.5 rem. So I'll save it, and then underneath the H1 we got the P tag, so I'll just say P tag here. I'm going to straight up copy this, change the margin to 1 rem. This will be 1 rem. This will be 6, and then I'll just change 2.5. We'll save it. And then under there, we'll just have the button. So I'll just, actually, yeah, it should be still nested because I didn't add anything to it. And this will just be, we can actually copy this font size clamp here too, and just put Put 0.8 with 4 and then 1.2, and then for the padding, let's just 0.8 rem by 2 rem. Again, this is just a design. You can do this whatever you want to. Let's make the color sure it's black. Background. This is just like a fallback color in case the gradient doesn't work. So yellowish, and then I just have another background with a linear gradient. Oh, come on, what? Yeah, let's do linear gradient to right with hashtag FFCC33 and then hashtag FFB347. It's got a little gradient. You can't really tell, but then let's border, take that out. So none. Border radius. Got a little curve action. And the cursor. Yeah, let's do cursor pointer with the outline of none. So this is basic, and you're probably wondering why did I just write title? Because we're gonna actually pass these in on the actual page. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. But right now, actually, let me show you that right now. So here, cool. This check this out. So this is cool, but like, what if you want to like you notice on the actual thing, I have custom text and I have custom images, but I just straight up reuse them. So you're probably wondering like, why? How do I do that without like recopying this verbatim and just copying and pasting them? So the cool trick is, so with Style Components, you can pass in essentially properties, and just like JavaScript. So here I can say, let me erase this. So this is a typical like URL, like for a background property. So instead, I'll just do $, curly brace, parenthesis, curly brace. I'm destructuring this too. So normally it'd be like props dot image or whatever you want to call it, props dot something. But since I'm restructuring it, I don't have to say props, so I can just say image is what I call it. And outside the curly brace parenthesis, you put the arrow function, and then you're setting if the value which you call as image is true, then I just want to return the image. So you could do like the ternary operator with the question mark and be like, if image is true, return this, else colon, return a fallback image. But since this is a basic tutorial, I don't have any fallback, so it's just gonna straight up return nothing if there's no image. But here, now in order to actually show this image, we have to actually pass this into the section, right? Because the section is what has the image, which is up here. So we have to just straight up say image equal to curly brace, the value passed in. And then we have to destructure this in the hero function here. So curly brace image. So if I save this now, see there's no image, because if we go to home, it's like, yo, where's the image at? So in order to pass this in, all you literally need to do is go to hero, just say image equal to curly brace, and say whatever image you want. So I just said image like this. I'm gonna save it. It's gonna give me an error, and the reason is because in the hero we imported this image up here. So let's Command X, because we're not using it anymore because we're just passing it in like this. So now I just pass it like that, save it. Now we got a little parrot. So if I were to copy and paste this to the about page, so I just go here, and then I just go under and just change this image to, and then I just straight up say image equal to image. It's going to be the little green lizard looking thingy. So I click on about, and I see that little, I don't even know what that is, a lizard, gecko, chameleon, can't really tell. But now you notice the services doesn't have anything, so we'll just paste my line up here again, and then I'll just say image 3, and then I just say image equals to image, or just, I think it caps it. So I'll save it. And we got a little bird. So you see, that's how I did it. Again, this is a basic design, so you can refactor this or not. You don't have to follow this if you don't need to. But now if I want to go and, like, for instance, the title and description, now you're like, yo, I don't like that title word. So we can do the exact same thing, where I just destructure it and just straight up curly brace. I just say the word title. Same with the description. You can do it with the button too, but I'm not going to for this. I'll just say DSC for short. And then we just got to pass these values in. So title and the DSC. So I save it. So now if I go back to home now I'm like, yo, let me pass in a title. And I'm just going to say, yo. See that? Pops up just like that. So I think I'll put my official one. I just straight up said, let me just paste these in because it's just, well, let me actually, so title, you just say, let's put experience, nature, and then for description, you say DSC, and then you share the description. So once in a lifetime. So perfect. So now if I go to about, it doesn't have anything because, so let's actually paste these. Let's just copy these. Go to about and just paste them. And then we can just change it to whatever you want to. So let me just change it to random. So say, can't even spell today. Beautiful views. And we can say never seen before. Before, save it, and bam. And then last one, I think I was just like, look at this bird. I was like, look at this bird. Look at this bird. And description, can you believe this? Alright, you guys put whatever one. But you see how cool it is? So you can just pass in values on each page and you can just go like that. Now again, this is just one way. Feel free to let me know in the comments better ways or ways to refactor this. And that's basically the hero section. So in terms of design, like we're like 99% done. The only thing is the animations is what we need to add too. So let me show you this really quick. So you could add these like in the hero.js, but I just did this for demonstration purposes and it's just easier to follow. I just made a new folder and called this animations. And I just let's just create an index.js file here. And then here, just create an animation. So let's let me see how I can show you how to do this. So in order to even do animations, we first need to import something on the app.js file. So if I go here and say imports animate presence, you can read more about this in the docs. It'll be from Framer motion. And I'm just gonna wrap all my routes basically with a switch. I'll just say animate presence. And then go under here. I'll just save it. And also, I'm gonna just create global styles really quick. So just src new file, and just create global styles.js. And pretty much, we can just do this real quick. Import, create global style from style components. Let's say const global style equal to create global style with the backticks. I just do the little shift 8 multiply sign, so margin 0, padding is 0, box sizing is border box, and font family is, just put open, what is going on? Actually, it doesn't even matter, just put like this. And then let me just export it. Export default global style, and here we can just pass this into the app.js just because I wanted to fix like the margins. So app.js, I'll just pass this like right below, well technically yeah, right above animate presence. So let's say global style, and also let's just do control space to auto import it, and we save it here. So technically we won't really know as much, but that's just what I have so far. And you can see this is like what we currently got. So right now, what I want to do is I want to show you how to add just basic animations right now. So for instance, let's go to the home and let's do something on the home. So let's see, home.js. So for home, what I'm going to do is first we got to import, and I'm doing the animations on the page level. If you wanted to like animate like these little details, then I made a previous video showing like the basics, but this is more for like page switching. So route changes, so import, we'll just import motion from Framer, and oh yeah, Framer motion. In order to animate, you have to wrap things with motion dot whatever the tag is. So if here, this is going to be a div, and then we'll just close it. So motion dot div. And for here, we can pass in values, but for this one, let's just go and let's see if I can do like a basic animation. So for like this, we can just say like animate, and then we can just do like double curly braces, and I'll just say like scale, and let's just do like 0.8. and then you can see that it animated it, right? So there's basic animation, so you can just straight up add it like this. But there's a cool way to, essentially they call variants, where you can just name them your own name, and then you can just pass them in. So that's the reason I created this animations index.js file, because I want to just show you how I separate all my animations. So like for this one, I'll just say export const. I'll just call this one animation 1. You can name this whatever you want to. And then I'll just have the value. I'll just call it like the in animation. And I want it to just say opacity of 1. And then I'll just name this next one. I'll just call this out. And then I'll just say opacity to be just 0. So the cool thing is if I save this now, go back to the home.js file, I can just pass these in to the motion div right here. So for instance, I'll say initial equals to the opacity out value, which is 0. And then I want to have the animates equal to the in value. And then there's this another property called exit, where I want it just to be the out value here. And then for the, let's command B this so we can close it out. The variance that it's going to read from is the name we named this, so animation 1. So if I save this right now, it's going to say animation 1 is not defined. So all I need to do is go here, import curly brace, animation 1 from .. animations. So save it here. So if I refresh, or refresh again, so you can see there's like a slight like opacity fade right there, right? So technically, if you wanted to delay this, we could create a transition. So if I go to index.js and I just create, let's just call this we'll export it first. So export const transition, and let's set the duration to like 2 seconds, right? Like something super long. So I'll save it here, go back to home, we'll just pass in transition because that's what I called it, and then I'll just pass it in here and just say transition equals to the name I called it, which is transition. So I save it, make sure I spell everything. Now you can see it's like super slow, right? So now I just change this to like 0.4. And by default I think it has its own value, but here I just have it set like this, so that way you can customize and change it. So in terms of the home page, like now if I click about, you see how when I click about and then I click home, it finally changes it. But if I click on about, there's nothing there. So let's actually add in some animations to the animations file first, and then we can go in there and add those. So let's just say exports const. I'll call this, technically we could actually do this. Let's just copy this just to save ourselves from typing. Just call this animation 2. And then for the in value, I'll just say opacity 1 is fine. I want to set the Y to 0, so now we can change like the direction it goes in. And then also I want this to scale. So you can add multiple properties. For this one, I want to say the out, I want to set it to 100 viewport height minus. And then I'll just set the scale to 0.3, which is like a ridiculously large amount. And then we can just go here and do the last one. I just call this animation 3. And then here I can just say like whatever value you want to put here. So like put x minus 300. And then for the opacity for this, I can say x is 300. Then I can make another property. I'll just call this end. I'll just say x is 0. So like it'll finish off in the middle, and I want people to be able to see it. So I'll just set the opacity to 1. So again, these values, you can read the docs because this is one of them, similar in terms of the animation from the docs. So you can get fancy with it, but basically it just changes the opacity and the X positioning. So like if we go here to about, and we just redo what we just did, but there should be an error, I think, if it comes up this time, where I go and let's import this really quick. So import motion from framer motion, and then import animation 2 from .. animations. And then when we go and just wrap everything again, so motion.div, same thing here. motion.div. There's gonna be some issues when we do this one, and I'll show you how to fix it in a second. But you can't just redo like what we did on the first page. So like first, let's just say the initial is just set equal to the out value for the animation 2. For the animated value, just gonna say equals to the in. For the exit, it's just gonna say equals to the out. And the variance equals to curly brace animation 2. Now I didn't add a transition because I wanted to show you the first way, but see how like ridiculous this is? You can add one transition if you want to, but I just want to show you this. So like if I go here and then I click on about and then back, see how like it's like instantly like it's playing almost at the same time pretty much. Like it's not doing it one by one. So like, let me do the services really quick and then we can do that. So actually let's go to about. Let me just copy this motion div really quick and then just like paste that in. Let's get rid of this closing tags. And yeah, I think I have the X. Oh, what happened? I can Command X this one and just paste this here. But then also I want to go back to the about. Let's get these two lines too, just to say tapping. So here, and then it should be animation 3. And let's change this to animation 3. And then we'll just do, let's see, initials out. I want to change animates to end and then exits out, and that looks fine to me. So now if I click on services, you can see like it comes from the side, from the top, from the side, and then here. So it looks like it's good. What the issue is, if I go to app.js, I wanted to do like the full entire thing before it actually changes. So if I say exit before enter, save here, and then I'll just save it, and then I go here, and then you can see it's essentially waiting for it to finish, and then it'll do its thing. And then also, cool little trick is we can add a location value. So like, let me go here. And like right now it doesn't look the same, right? So I go here, you can see it's much more, I'd say, slower. So here's the original, right? So you go here, here, and then here. But then here's ours where it's just like there, there. And you can tell like it's not really working. So for this, I'm gonna go to the switch. We're gonna add a location equals to location. And then I'm gonna set the key equals to location.path name. So this is a React router, so we can say here at the top from React router, we can just pass in use location. So now if I save this now, actually we need to, let's say let location equal to use location here and save it. And then we'll save it, and this will run into the error where it says can I read property location of undefined. So pretty much what I want to do is take this router value here, just delete it. Because what we're gonna do, and in place we'll just put like a fragment for now. And what we're gonna do here, we're gonna delete this too. I'll just save really quick. And I'm gonna wrap this browser router around the index.js file. So here we're gonna say, I'll just say router, and then we'll wrap the app here, and then I'll just pass this in. So import, I just call it browser router as router from React router DOM. So I'll save it now. So now if I save it and then we click, see how like it's much slower and it looks like it's actually waiting for the entire animation to actually complete. But the last thing is, if I go here and I show you like the services, look at the scroll. It's like the horizontal scroll appears, and if you don't want that to show, we can just add the little style component. So I can just say here like app.js styled from style components, and I can just create a basic, I'll just call this a section. This is just like a basic thing. If you have it in your actual components, you can edit it here. But this is right here. I'm just gonna say equal to style.section with the backticks, and I'm just gonna set the overflow X to hidden, and then I'll just wrap this with a section. So like this. So I save it now, and I go back, and I click home, and then I click on services. Notice that the X little scroll effect's not there. So we also have it on the Y2, but again, it doesn't really affect the design. But that's just a little quick page transition animations using Framer, React, and stock components. So again, you can get fancy with this. This is just like a little basic template to get started. But if you did enjoy this, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Comment down below any cool tips or tricks to improve this. And send me your animations. I'll definitely check them out. But aside from that, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.